What's going on, everybody? Happy game day. Happy Thursday. Welcome into 104.3 The Fans Coffee Break. We've got D-Mac and myself, Rachel V. Hill. We got a lot of guests coming up on today's show, too, so make sure you hang out with us for the next 45 minutes as we preview Thursday Night Football. D-Mac, what? Actually, this is so funny. Yours says because kids, and mine says I love my rescue dog. Cheers to you, D-Mac.
There you go.
Cheers
we
to
each
you.
We each have our own children to take care of.
Exactly. Troy says it's game day. Is everyone excited? I am pumped up. This is a huge game, and even more so now because it feels like a revenge game for Philip Lindsay. A lot of pressure being on Melvin Gordon to have a really, really good game. D-Mac, which one are you more excited to see? Are you more excited to see what Philip Lindsay does coming in? Obviously, that's not good news if he's got a big game for the Broncos, but it is a revenge game being a CU football star here in Denver. Or are you more interested to see what Melvin Gordon does?
Well, Philip's coming off the practice squad, so who knows how many reps he's really going to get, although it's certainly an awesome storyline. I mean, it's fantastic, and I love Philip Lindsay, so I, hope for a large amount of limited success for Philip. The drama really for Broncos fans clearly is Melvin Gordon and what's going to happen there. I said it. Will Peterson said it. I just wouldn't have taken this chance whatsoever. I would have just moved on. But that being said, here we are. It's game day. And, hey, I'm all for a good redemption story, and I'm all for positive things for the Broncos. To take on a team, Rachel, that they should actually have a relatively easy time with.
Yeah, I mean, their run game, Jonathan Taylor probably be the best running back in the NFL. With him being out, Philip Lindsay being activated, it should be what you would hope to be a winnable game for the Broncos, but it feels like every game that should be a winnable game doesn't necessarily work out that way for the Broncos.
Yeah, nothing is. We don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And you can only evaluate things the way they lay out initially in front of you. It's a 1-2-1 Colts team. It is a team. I mean, their one win, Rachel, was against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Which amazing.
I would like to say I think that the Chiefs overlooked the Colts and they planned for the Bucs for 2 weeks because they went in to Tampa and they destroyed the Bucs and they looked so good defensively that I just think that they slightly overlooked them.
Yeah, it happens. On with Derek Wolfe this week, he admitted that they had just overlooked the Giants a few years ago when the Broncos were undefeated and the Giants were winless. And that was one of the most miserable losses in Broncos home field. That was at home history. So, hey, listen, there's always precedent for things going poorly, but we can't just anticipate things going wrong. In my opinion, you have to anticipate what you're capable of. And the Broncos are more than capable of beating the Colts. That being said, you lose Javonte Williams. That is absolutely brutal. We are without Randy Gregory for a few weeks, which is really rough. Hopefully Baron Browning can fill those shoes.
You know what annoys me about that Randy Gregory situation, D-Mac, is the fact that he told reporters that he was good and then he's on the IR. I'm like, come on, don't get Broncos country's hopes up by saying I'm good, everything's fine, and then having to go on the IR for 4 weeks.
Yeah, those knee injuries, Rachel, are really quirky. You could feel okay. You could have a lot of adrenaline going on. You can walk off the field and then just find out later it's more damaging than you thought. Not to compare myself to world-class athletes, but I had a torn ACL and a torn meniscus, and it wasn't until I tore my meniscus that I felt incredible pain, and the doctor said I might have been walking around with a torn ACL for a month. And well, I wasn't in great shape back then either. So it probably showed you the limited amount of activity I was putting myself through. But that being said, it's not like I was sitting there like in, oh my God, agony. When I tore my meniscus on top of the torn ACL, yeah, I mean, that like really, really hurt. So I'm not gonna begrudge Gregory thinking, hey, I'm going to be okay. Because he really seriously, Rachel, may have thought, hey, I really am okay. That might not have been a lie, and it probably was disappointingly surprising to him when he found out it was worse than he suspected. So I don't think he was lying or fibbing or even exaggerating. I think that's probably exactly how he felt, and it was just really bad news.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll listen to it. We did get Maria who said, D-Mac, you are world class. Maria also had a good comment, or no, excuse me, Clint did, and said, is Philip Lindsay a Disney movie? We've talked a lot about Disney movies recently.
Kinda, but what's the conclusion to the Disney movie? Like the Rookie, where Dennis Quaid comes back, and the conclusion to the Rookie was him pitching in Major League Baseball.
So is this like the final scene tonight? Is if he dominates the Broncos, is this the final scene of the movie?
Philip Lindsay may have seen the final scene. I think the final scene for Philip Lindsay probably was when he went to the Pro Bowl as a member of the Broncos, and that happened. I mean, that happened. He went to the Pro Bowl as a 1,000-yard rusher. But listen, man, if we're just halfway through the Philip Lindsay Disney story, I'm here for it. The Kurt Warner story, had a variety of ups and downs, including massive success as a starter, then, kind of time as a backup, and then back to another Super Bowl. So I'm all for the Disney story with Philip Lindsay. But I don't know. It might be No Country for Dead Men, or whatever that movie is. It's like the worst depressing movie of all time. No Country. What is it? No Country for Old Men? No Country for Dead. No Country. Something about no countries. And there was no music, and it was really sad, and it just sucked. It was good acting. I don't know where we are, Rachel. What do you think? What are you expecting?
I don't know. I guess it depends on if Philip Lindsay, if this is to him like his Super Bowl, like it was for Seattle, right? I mean, is he like, you know what? I'm pissed off at the Broncos. The fact that I was like the hometown kid, I had never fumbled. You bring in this veteran guy who clearly has fumbled, and this is like the big moment. It'll be.
By the way, theoretically, the Disney story would be playing for your home team, not humiliating your home team. Not like I came back to the city that brought me up and I destroyed them. That's a terrible
maybe it's
Disney
a different
movie.
kind of Disney movie. D-Mac, what's your favorite Disney movie, actually?
Oh my God. Well, I don't even know if it's like a Disney movie, but my favorite, gosh, Disney, Pixar, it's all the same thing, right? My favorite one like that is Monsters Incorporated. I love Monsters Inc. I know, I go back away. My favorite cheesy sports Disney movies is Rudy. And I know, listen, I know it's not true. It's not what happened. It's a bunch of crap. But I don't care. I love Rudy. I love Miracle about the 1980 U.S. That one's actually true. How about that one? Let's do a Disney movie about a real true story. But you didn't see the U.S. hockey team play the Russians the next week where they lost like 12-2. But you just stay with Mike Eruzione scoring the winning goal. And by the way, all right, Rachel, trivia. I know you love trivia.
Is this movie trivia?
No, it's real life sports sort of trivia. Everybody thinks the 1980 Olympic team beat the Russians, won the gold medal. That is not true. They had to beat another team to win the gold medal. That was only in the semifinals. Who did they beat to actually win the gold medal?
I actually did know this, but I can hold on.
I can give you some hints.
Okay, give me a hint.
Mikko Rantanen. I said Mikko Rantanen. Me.
Oh, and of course, now I can't think of where the heck he's from.
Scored last night.
I hate trivia. This is why I host trivia. Here comes Jay, because he's going to be like, Finland! I know the answer.
Finland.
Oh, thank you.
And don't hit me with I wasn't born yet. I'm not buying that.
No, but
crap.
I did know that because everyone was so mad about Miracle.
Just know some American sports history. Don't hit me with, I wasn't born yet. You know, I'm slightly familiar with the Revolutionary War. It's come to my attention.
I will say history was never my strong suit ever. I passed everything in high school. Like, I shouldn't say because I didn't fail it, but like for all of our tests, because I technically got credits, like college credits, everything but history. History has never been my strong suit because I can convince myself easily.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
D-Mac doesn't care about my history and my college stuff.
Yeah,
my favorite
you suck at history. I get it.
The Lion King, easily. Yeah, no, it's easily The Lion King, and actually Simba's Pride, Lion King #2 is probably actually my favorite one, and then Finding Nemo comes in. My favorite sports movie though is Remember the Titans, a classic. Love it.
Great movie, true story. There you go.
So good. I absolutely love it. All right. Well, we do have to tell you about an awesome opportunity for everybody. If you've been listening to Coffee Break for a while, then you've heard of Redline Athletics. And, there is another chance for you guys to win a year-long membership at Redline Athletics Centennial for your student. Brand new state-of-the-art speed and agility training facility in the ultimate spot for your student athletes to take your performance to the next level. So maybe one day we'll be talking about them here on Coffee Break. So enter today at denverfan.com. We now need to bring in Matt Smith, though, because again, you guys, he is our champion. I know. Are you kidding me? Back to back.
What?
I told you. What I tell you when I came on last week. I look forward to it. Oh, it's not really, because, when you have ultimate self-confidence, you get things done. What can I say?
That is congratulations.
Mark it on the big board.
I just don't back to back. And after it was such a crazy week in the NFL, Matt. So how?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's all up here. When you pour through the data and the research and you constantly comb through it all week long leading up to that Sunday, it's just miracles happen, and when you put the work in, you're just not too surprised. So that's where we're at. And again, I came on here last week and told you guys I'd be back. And guess what? I'll be back several more times this season. So I'm not surprised. I'm dummying Zach and I think Scrappy Will down at the bottom of the pile. I mean, just dummying them. Hey, look, at this point, I think I'm 3 clear now, the next closest person. I'm just not surprised.
Amazing.
King Soopers is keeping me well fed. I'm going there later today. I'm going to pick up one of their Melvin Gordon clearance specials, a butterball turkey, deep fried in Crisco, a couple of Butterfingers for dessert, and I might even get a couple of greeting cards to get well soon for Javonte Williams and Randy Gregory.
I love it. We were just talking about Disney movies and sports movies, and we said, speaking of great sports movies, what a great hat from Matt Smith. The Ducks fly together. Mighty Ducks, there it is.
Quack, quack. Was that what you're talking about? Best sports movies? Where did we land on?
Mine is Remember the Titans. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Like Disney-esque, because of Melvin. It's kind of interesting because it's a redemption story for Melvin Gordon. Okay, that's a movie. It's also an interesting movie for Philip Lindsay, right? Coming back. So, I say real life is not like a Disney movie, but there's also, it doesn't have to be a Disney movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Rudy is like a Disney movie. The Rookie, I think actually The Rookie is a Disney movie, stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. Like Rookie of the Year, you're messing around, you slip on a ball at recess, you break your arm, your tendons fuse a little tight, and then you throw a ball from the center field bleachers all the way to home plate, and you're pitching for the Cubs.
That's fantastic. Love that story.
Have you never seen Rookie of the Year?
Wasn't like the guy like sleeping with his mom or something like that? Like
yeah, his agent. Yeah, his mom's boyfriend tried to sell him to the Yankees.
Yeah, it's like the most unathletic athlete ever in a movie is the star player of the club, who happens to be now. I guess everybody passed on the fact that he's having sex with his mother. Like nobody. It's odd, right?
All right, I don't know where this conversation is going, but
I didn't see that movie.
Another great sports movie. This clip right here.
Run the dang ball.
Run the dang ball. Great. Sandra Bullock's fantastic in that one.
She actually looks just like my mom. Like exactly like my mom. Sandra Bullock in that movie looks just like my mom.
Run the dang ball.
I'm not going to lie, Matt.
I feel like I've already gotten ourselves in enough trouble.
I can say that.
Yeah, I know. Can you just,
Yeah.
Hey, look, here's the good news, is I'm going to win again and pick them. Look, do I feel it this week? It's up in the air right now. It's 50-50 because we got a lot of interesting games. This is like make or break week in the NFL. I think there's a bunch of games that are big spreads, like almost a touchdown spread this week. So I think you're going to start to see some pretenders and contenders start to separate themselves from the pack here early in the NFL season, and it could start this week. I mean, look, if the Colts lose tonight, they go to 1-4, and they're much more a pretender than they are a contender. And if the Broncos were to win, look, I mean, 3-2, you're still keeping track at the top of the AFC West. Just a little example, but there's tons of those matchups all around the league this week, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be another great week of football.
What will the Colts do if they lose? What will their record be?
They'll be a pretender. 1-4.
Are you sure?
Is that not it?
Are you willing to put
one?
You're forgetting about that big tie that they had.
Oh, you're right. What is it? 1, 2, or 1, 3, and 1. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. By the way, will you stop telling people to trade Jerry Judy? What is wrong with you, D-Mac? I mean, what is going on? You're not getting rid of the second best receiver on the team and making Kendall Hinton number 2. Enough.
Do we care about running backs or not?
They got him. You could piecemeal. Running backs are a dime a dozen. They're a dime a dozen. I mean, look, here's what I'll say. What do you think the Broncos are going to do this year? Do you think it's a playoff team?
No.
Right. So what does it matter? Why get rid of one of your young players with great potential to bring in a guy like a Kareem Hunt?
Well, but you still believe in Jerry Judy then?
Yes, absolutely. When you cut on the film, it's much more Russ and it's much more the scheme than it is Jerry Judy. There's plenty of opportunities that he's going wide open and Russ is just missing him.
Hey man, let me tell you, you can't get something good without giving up something good. So if you do believe in Jerry Judy, fine.
I do.
If you don't believe in Jerry Judy, he's the best tradable asset you have. So
all right, well, let's bring in another opinion on this because Knowshon Moreno's in the back.
There he is.
We're going to ask him, Knowshon, do you trade Jerry Judy or do you stay with him? How are you, my friend? Oh, no, you're muted. Hold on.
I did mute myself. That's all I'm making.
There you go. It was a dramatic pause for effect.
Yeah. What's going on, everyone? No, I wouldn't trade Judy. I'm with not trading him. He still has an upside. It's just too early. You know what I mean? I think he showed early in the season that he can make some plays for us. So it's just a little too early. It's the scheme, I feel like, more so right now. Just like you guys were saying. But
all right. So how do you get a high quality running back in here at this point, or do you not really need a high quality running back?
What are you saying? I mean, you mean go and look for someone else?
How do you get somebody? Or are we good? You believe in Melvin?
I think it's very too late for that. You probably just gonna have to see what's on the streets, or just go with what you have. I mean, we just signed Murray, Latavius, so he's a decent back that can get some things done for us. So you got to just go with what we have right now. And, it's unfortunate what happens to Javonte, but you got to do what you got to do. And
there's Knowshon Moreno.
Latavius has to come up to speed.
Knowshon Moreno saying running backs aren't that important.
That's not true. I'm not saying, but what else are you going to do? You can't trade. I wouldn't trade Judy. I just wouldn't trade him. And like you said, that is our only asset really to trade. And I wouldn't do that.
That's right. So
and to get who? You guys are saying a Hunt? Who are you guys saying?
Probably Hunt. A wild card would probably be A.J. Dillon.
They'd never go for that.
I don't know. Listen, man, if you're telling me we're good, we're good. Okay,
we're good.
Fine. All I heard is how Javonte Williams was everything and Melvin Gordon is garbage. That's true. I heard. So if you're telling me that's not the truth, then, hey, cool. We'll hang on to everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, Melvin's going through his little issues, but he can bounce back, man. He has no choice to bounce back. We're going to need him. So he'll bounce back and give us a game that we need. And just don't put that ball on the ground like we all been saying. And it is what it is, man. Melvin,
he's one of those guys. Knowshon, he's going to fumble at least 3 more times this year in 13 more games at least.
And the thing that makes it so bad is that it was over consecutive games that he was doing it. If it's spread out, you're not really thinking of it that he fumbles the first game, okay, then the 5th game, all right, but consecutively, fumbling each week, it doesn't look good. But we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him to come to speed. We're gonna need Latavius to come up to speed and learn this playbook because we're gonna need that back as well.
Knowshon,
I'm just saying. Knowshon should start lifting weights again.
Get him on the field. Get him on the field.
Knowshon, you know how critical Broncos country can be, how harsh and how much they expect excellence. Can Melvin overcome the emotional part of this game if he does in fact fumble the ball tonight?
That's the thing with Melvin. He
call the Uber now, Rachel, if he puts it on the ground tonight. He is gone.
If he puts it on the ground tonight, man, I you know what? I feel like we just need to stop saying it. I feel like we're just putting it in the universe too much. It's almost like one of those things where you don't talk about it's about to rain when you're golfing, right? You just
but he's fine.
You look up at the sky and you're like, it's about to, you know what? So, but yeah, I just really hope he doesn't put it on the ground, and his confidence probably will really be down at that point. But let's just not talk about that. I think he'll have a really good game. He'll help us out tonight, and we'll just see what happens. Let's just see what happens first before we just start talking about, if he does do it, then what are we going to do? Let's just let it play out.
Hey, we don't talk about Bruno, and we don't talk about fumbles.
Yeah.
Knowshon, I've heard a lot of people say just fix it. That's something that's fixable. The dude's the active, the NFL's career leader, as far as active players go, running backs go for fumbles. You can't fix that, can you?
Well, what I saw with him mostly, honestly, was the elbow getting away from him a little bit. Kind of, you can see the ball from the back. You don't really want to be able to see the ball from behind you. That chicken wing. Nah, get that elbow down. Get the ball.
All right,
high.
hold on. We've got a few still photos, Knowshon.
Okay.
I want you to talk us through.
See, look at the elbow.
This is the wrong fumble, Rach. This is the wrong fumble.
Listen. We've got two of them.
Look at the elbow.
We gotta go with what we have, though. But there are multiple fumbles, obviously.
See, and the defender was able to hit it from the back. He was able to punch it out from the back because the elbow is away from the body. If the elbow comes close to the rib cage, the defender can't come from the back like that. He has to go over around the body.
Okay.
You probably have another one, right? What's the other one?
I do. I got the one in Seattle.
It's tough to see that one, but again, it looked like he was losing. It wasn't this not the one where wasn't that a fourth down and he was reaching?
Yeah, fourth down. Yeah.
I can't blame the man for that. It was fourth down.
Right.
Listen, it's either touchdown or nothing. They're gonna get the ball right here or anyway. So, but yes, it is still loose before he's even reaching. Ugh.
Yeah, there's just questions, and so you've heard everybody say, "Oh, it's just something you can fix." So, is it the hand placement? People have joked, maybe he needs to lose a little bicep muscle because it's just poking it out. But what's the issue? No,
he's a big boy. But like I said, it's that. Yep, there it is. Get that elbow down.
Get the elbow down. Oh, you're cut. You're cut, D-Mac.
If not that though, you gotta just get that offhand on the ball. Just when you're going through the tackles, when you're going through all that mush there in the first 5 yards, he's out of control. I was like, what did I get myself into? What you guys were talking about before I came on? I'm like, what show is this?
Yes.
I love it, D-Mac.
It's great form. You look just like Melvin.
Oh, there it is. There it is. He's out of control.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff right there.
Yeah. You see it.
Who you like, Melvin? Who you like tonight, Knowshon?
Yeah.
No, I do. Both teams are offensively are struggling. When you look at the Colts offense, Matt Ryan, him putting the ball down all the times that he's putting the ball on the ground and interceptions. So they're struggling over there, and we're struggling a little bit on offense. So I put all my eggs in the defensive backseat, really, and say that they could stop Matt Ryan and that team more often than they can stop us. So I'm gonna give it to the Broncos and to put on some points tonight as well. And we'll stop them more. I know it's gonna hurt, missing Gregory, but I think Brown and the crew and the gang can step in, and they're gonna have to step in and fill that void. But the Colts know that they're missing Gregory over there, so they're gonna test them often this game. So we'll see how we can hold up and how the guys are gonna get their back and flow to the ball.
Yeah, I mean the Colts are like the worst offense in the NFL. They really and by the way, they were terrible at running the ball with Jonathan Taylor so far. So again, but we all know, again, I'll bring it up, when the undefeated Broncos played the winless Giants, and the Giants just, I mean, that did happen. So, but you know what the good news is? Tonight's game is a any given Sunday game. I mean, seriously, any given Sunday, any team can win. But once you get down to any given Sunday analysis, it means your team should win. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but you should win.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree with that, D-Mac. I think the only difference is some of the stuff that, I mean, I think Matt Ryan could throw the ball 50 times tonight. I think we could see that if they have enough possessions. The one thing that Indy does really well is they run a lot of underneath crossers with their big tight ends. So Josie Jewell, Jonas Griffith, two guys that didn't have a great day. Yeah, three tight ends. Josie Jewell, Jonas Griffith, two guys who didn't have a great day against the Raiders. They're going to have to step up tonight because I imagine the Broncos will just give Indianapolis whatever they want underneath. I mean, I would be surprised if we see a ton of press man. So, you know, Pat Surtain just dealt with Devontae Adams. Michael Pittman's got a little bit more size, but as far as stopping the Colts offensively, that offensive line is struggling right now without Quentin Nelson. So we'll see. I think the Broncos have a good shot tonight, but their offense has not been good. Nathaniel Hackett has to figure out, scheme some things to get the ball out quicker, get drives started faster, and get this team down the field, because right now it feels like they're trying to run the ball, which is good, but if that's all you're trying to do and you're not trying to take advantage of the middle of the field, they got nobody working the middle of the field, then I think we could see a really low-scoring game, unlike the points that Knowshon was suggesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. We did get a comment said home team has won every Thursday night game except week 1, which was not a short week. It favors the home team, especially in a close matchup.
No doubt.
What would be a convincing enough win that this Broncos team is on the right path to hopefully moving forward and, you know, securing maybe a playoff spot dream? What's a convincing enough win for you, Knowshon?
Well, I think the score is going to be somewhere around 24-17 or something like that. I mean, I convincing? I don't even want to go there. I want them to just win.
Just win.
Yeah. Really just win the game and don't go into a shootout per se. But want them to win the game. Want them to not to have any turnovers. You know what I mean? They're going to throw the ball. The Colts are going to throw the ball. And you see that he's throwing it to the other team a lot. So I think we can put our hands on the ball a couple times tonight, and hopefully we can get a couple picks and get us going on that end with some turnovers for picks. I know we got a couple fumbles, but we need a couple picks in some guys' hands to get the juices going.
The harsh reality is there is nothing that can happen tonight that would be convincing of anything. You just got to win. It's just a winnable game. The bigger test, in all honesty, is eventually you've got to win a game on the road. And ironically, in 2012, when the Broncos started out 2-3, the turning point game was the Monday night game against the Chargers.
I hear this one a lot, though. I hear them comparing those two. And when I look at it, Payton was throwing for like 3 and change, 4 and change, though. And we were at there. I mean, Russ is not throwing like that. But I understand what you're saying, where this is the turning point where, you know,
the stars have aligned.
I get it. I understand. But Payton was throwing that thing, and we were coming up with some losses.
No, John, what do you want me to do? Start citing Tebow examples? Like did you want me to say like when he ran around the corner against the Jets and everybody went crazy? You're forcing me to go down that path, my friend.
Understandable.
Hey, how about that miracle game against the Dolphins, down 15 with 3:15 to go?
Very true.
Me to start making Tebow comparisons instead of Manning comparisons with Russ?
Got you. But
you're right.
But no, go ahead. I was just messing with you.
No, you're right. You are right. We should actually listen to Knowshon.
Stop.
Russell Wilson is not Peyton Manning. You are correct. And we are really looking at a good Tebow, and that's Russell Wilson. So you're probably right. We should stop the Manning comparisons. And you know what we really should hope for? Hope for not Tebow. Drew Brees. Where are the Drew Brees moments for Russell Wilson? Sure. And that's what he's trying to be, and that would be incredible. Do you
think Sean Payton was auditioning for the job the other day? I do too. I really did too when I saw that. That there was something about it where I was like, nah, that's just not an interview. That was Sean Payton needed to get out of New Orleans because they didn't have a very good team this year. He wanted a fresh start, but he was still under contract. The easiest way to do it is retire, just like Brady tried to do, and they both tried to weasel their way to Miami this year, right? I think Sean Payton will be back coaching in the league next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was for Denver, because I have to be honest with you, it's only 4 weeks in, but every time I watch this team and what they're trying to do, I am very concerned that Nathaniel Hackett is not the right guy for the job. I think there are a lot of different things that they could be doing than what they are right now. And the marriage between what Russell wants and what Nathaniel Hackett wants, there is a disconnect here. And they got to iron this out quick. They really need to.
Yeah, sure.
Knowshon, I'm interested to see your response to that.
To which one? Which point?
To what Matt just said.
About about Sean Payton coming here. Oh yeah, I mean, shoot, he's a proven coach. That'd be great to have a coach like that here. I just keep on going back to like, dang, going away from him so quick. I mean, I guess we did the same thing with Josh. Josh did have a hotter start, not a so good ending.
And they still fired him.
And it's still fine. And then we start the next. But then that's the thing. Do you start the next season, though, just to see if things change with Hackett? You don't just, Payton comes in right away, right? That's what they did with Josh. Josh started the first a couple games, and then they got rid of him. And then, my guy Eric Studesville was the head coach. Yeah, so I don't know. I love the coach, though. That would be a great fit for this team.
For sure.
Shoot.
Listen, here's the truth. If they don't make the playoffs, anything is possible, okay?
Yeah.
You have to understand.
Wait a minute. See, now you're already going too far. They're not going to make the play. I don't think they're going to make the. Listen, that's what I'm saying.
No, they're not. No.
For the team going into the season was just so. Everyone's talking about. First of all, they were saying Super Bowl. I was like, well, calm down. Then they were saying, all right, playoffs. And I'm still like, well, still calm down, because we all talked about before the season start that there was going to be some growing pains, some things to get over. New coach, new everything, new blah, 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 blah. We did talk about that, right? But it seems like, D-Mac, you're still talking playoffs, right? I wasn't talking playoffs in the beginning of the season. I was hesitant. I was saying maybe. I thought the teams I thought the Chargers would be a little bit better. They are going through a lot of injuries, but I thought the Chargers and the Chiefs will be up there, right?
Well, here's the deal.
I know it is early, though. It's super early.
Here's what the ownership group did. The new ownership group, did commit to Russell Wilson. They weren't the ones that picked out Nathaniel Hackett or George Payton, frankly.
Right.
And so you have to look at a team that doesn't make the playoffs, and Sean Payton is available. And now what do? So if none of us think they're going to make the playoffs, and if they don't make the playoffs, and Sean Payton, a coach with unbelievable skins on the wall, is out there, and the guy you just paid is emulating Drew Brees, the quarterback Sean Payton coached. Really? You wouldn't rather have Sean Payton coach Russell Wilson than Nathaniel Hackett if you don't make the playoffs? I actually think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Emulating Drew Brees. Drew Brees is Drew Brees. Russell Wilson's Russell Wilson. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys even talked about it yesterday, D-Mac. Russ has got to figure out his athleticism again, whether I think it was Derek who was talking about maybe him dropping a few pounds and regaining some of that, his agility, his speed in the pocket. If you go watch what they did last year, this is a guy who looks completely different than he did last year. He had way more burst last year, way more pop. They played the Colts last year in week 1. He threw for 4 touchdowns against the Colts in week 1, a couple ridiculous timing throws. Russ has to find a way to work the middle of the field. And what Indy does is Indy will even move Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and his wheelchair or his walker, they can get him more mobile out of the pocket than Hackett's figured out with Russell Wilson. This team, it's a combination of scheme, it's a combination of talent. And right now, if you don't have the quarterback to raise it all, then you're kind of looking at last year's team adding an upgrade at quarterback, but it's not an elite quarterback, it's a good quarterback.
It's a good conversation, you guys. Knowshon, Matt, I appreciate you guys hopping on. We're about to go behind enemy lines. Love the conversation. Again, great. A lot of interesting things, but it's time to go behind enemy lines now. We welcome in Bob Kratz. Bob, how are you? Oh, hold on one second. Let's see. Can we hear you now? Oh, we still can't. Let's see. Might be muted. Can you unmute yourself?
How am I now?
Oh, there you are. Hello, how are you?
All these years with the pandemic and Zoom, and I still haven't figured the damn thing out.
It's all right. I'm with you. Technology. Trust me, it's the biggest pain, but we're just happy to have you. We're excited to hear you. How are you, though? Everything is good?
I'm fabulous. You see, I'm representing with my Avalanche hat.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
love to see it.
I was there in '96 when they won the cup, and we moved to Indy in 2000, so I missed the 2001 cup. But yeah, those are good times.
Well, Bob,
happy for Joey.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, we have to talk about tonight's game because we've been talking a lot about Disney movies, redemption, plot twists, all sorts of things when it comes to Philip Lindsay coming back, Melvin Gordon, obviously, with the fumbling. What are you keeping your eye on, though, for Thursday Night Football?
I am going to watch the left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts, a guy named Matt Pryor, go up against Chubb. I think that's the key to the whole thing. I think Chubb is going to have his way with Pryor. I say that because everybody has had his way with Pryor. The Colts offensive line has been a complete mystery this year. They have spent more money, a higher percentage of their cap has been spent on the offensive line than any team in the National Football League, and yet they are terrible. And it's really hard to understand, but their running game has been abysmal, even with Jonathan Taylor. So I'm going to watch the offensive line, and most specifically, I'm going to watch Matt Pryor against Chubb.
Well, what is the loss of Nelson meant? I mean, it's been tremendous, obviously, I guess.
No, I'm sorry.
Quentin Nelson?
Oh, he's still there.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, explain what's going on then with the offensive line.
Well, Quentin Nelson's been fine. But, the guys they were counting upon, Ryan Kelly and Braden Smith, have both been playing a little bit below standard. And then they at right guard, they tried a kid named Danny Pinter. He crapped out. He's been replaced. Matt Pryor at left tackle. This is a position he's never played before. So, they lost two guys on the offensive line. Neither one of them was a world beater. And you thought, well, they can't get much worse than Eric Fisher and Mark Glowinski, who are the two guys they had up there. And it's been a serious decline in production at both areas.
Defensively, the Broncos offense is clearly struggling. So defensively, where's the strongest suit for the Colts?
Well, they played exceptionally well against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and they seem to play better against quarterbacks who like to hold the football. Guys like Trevor Lawrence and Tannehill, folks like that who get rid of the ball really quickly drive the Colts crazy. But quarterbacks who do try to extend plays, they seem to be okay there. So I think the strength is the defensive line with Buckner and Pay, Grover, Stewart. They're pretty strong there. I think the Broncos will have a tough time running because everybody's had a hard time running against the Colts. So, and obviously you don't have Javonte, so that makes a big difference.
Hey, I am confused what the strategy at quarterback for the Colts is. And,
yeah, you too?
Oh, well, all right. Because was Matt Ryan seriously looked at as the answer?
He was looked at as a 2-year stopgap.
Okay.
Now, my feeling is, and I wrote a column about this the other day in The Athletic, that he needs to be a 1-year guy, and they need to stop screwing around, stop kicking the can down the road, and find a successor. If that means there's going to be some competitive pain, then so be it. But they cannot continue to do this quarterback Band-Aid thing year after year after year. This is 6 straight years with a new quarterback.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Bill Polian at training camp, and he in fact told me, he said, I think that Matt Ryan, and I think this applies to Russell Wilson as well, when you got quarterbacks who've been in a certain system for a long, long time, it takes 4, 5, 6 games before they figure out the new terminology, etc. So it does not surprise me terribly that Russell's struggling, that Matt's struggling. The thing that's so concerning about Ryan is you don't know if he plays, how much better can he play? And that's the question I have. I mean, with Russell Wilson, I think there's a high ceiling. With Matt Ryan, I think, you're only as good as your running attack and your defense. And right now, neither one of those areas is really performing for the Colts. So Matt Ryan has been on his own, but he's also fumbled, get this, 9 times in 4 games. It's astonishing.
It's unbelievable. And we went through this, by the way, Bob, with Joe Flacco, meaning, he was the Super Bowl MVP. He's a bigger quarterback. He just needs a fresh new start. And the truth was, no, he didn't need a fresh new start. He's just a different version, an older version, a less version than he once was. And it does kill you when you look at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Justin Herbert, and you have quarterback envy. And I just didn't understand what the plan was, because I get it. You didn't love Carson Wentz. I mean, I get it. But now what? And you've seen what the Broncos have done to get Russell Wilson, by the way, on multiple first-round picks and back up the Brinks truck. And even that is an unknown, Bob, if you don't just simply go in the draft and start over.
Right. And look, it's clear to me. I wrote this column, and I could just sort of hear Chris Ballard in my ear going, "Yeah, Bob, I know." Look, you don't take over a franchise with the expectation that your generational quarterback is going to walk out the door before the 2019 season.
No.
So that screws everything up. Then you go get Carson Wentz, who's not an old guy by any stretch in the imagination, and you think, well, there's our quarterback of the future. Well, that clearly did not work out. So at this point, it's just it's a quarterback carousel, and they've got to get off because everybody's getting queasy.
Bob, from an outsider's perspective, looking into the Broncos, what's your main takeaway? Because obviously people here in Denver are very, very disappointed with what they've seen. But from an outsider's perspective, I'm curious, was this what you expected out of Russell Wilson and the Broncos to start the season?
Well, I would be lying if I said I spent a lot of time worrying too much about the Broncos, unlike in the old days where it was Broncos, 365. But I go back to what Bill Polian told me. And, Bill's a Hall of Famer, and he's a pretty smart man when it comes to football. And it does not surprise me when a quarterback who has been in a system and has been using a certain terminology for all those years, when he starts anew somewhere else, it's going to take some time. I think Russell Wilson, you look at his career, he didn't suddenly get lousy. I think in time the Broncos, at least Wilson, will be okay. I don't have that same sense of optimism with Matt Ryan because Matt Ryan's 102 years old and can't move. So I think the Broncos will be okay. The difference there, guys, being that the Broncos play in a terrific division and the Colts play in the AFC South. So the Colts can screw around here for the next 5-6 games and still be really in the hunt, because if I am not among those who believes the Jacksonville Jaguars are the real deal. We'll find out, but I don't think they're as good as they're playing, if that makes sense.
Hey, real quick, Philip Lindsay activated. How much action do you think he could get?
I think he'll be the primary running back.
I
think he'll get the lion's share of the carries.
Okay.
I think you'll see Nyheim Hines, who's kind of their Swiss Army knife guy. I think he'll get more touches than he's gotten in the past, which isn't saying much because they have studiously ignored him through the first couple of games. But Philip Lindsay, I think it'll be a nice story, especially if he plays well. But I think he'll come home and play quite a bit.
Oh, interesting. All right. That's kind of the big storyline for tonight. Bob, I have to ask you this. What's your favorite Disney movie or favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? Yeah, I'm not much of a Disney guy. My kids are older, so I've kind of forgot all those. Oh, Finding Nemo was pretty good. I'm a Slapshot guy.
Okay.
Slapshot.
Slapshot is my favorite sports movie. You know, I love the guy who plays the reporter. He says, I'm just trying to capture the spirit of the thing, Reg. Love it. Just love that movie. It's a great, great movie, and it's about hockey, and you can't beat the Hanson brothers.
By the way, Rachel, that movie ends with a massive fight on the ice and the star scorer taking all of his clothes off. And a parade. Those two things, a parade and a guy taking his clothes off.
Rachel, have you never seen that movie?
I'm not a movie person, so I'm always learning about new ones. Yesterday was Office Space. I haven't seen Office Space.
Very good.
I know. So everyone makes fun of me because I'm just not a movie person, but I'm writing them all down. I'm adding them to my list. I know I have a lot to catch up on.
Do that and come back with a full report.
I got it. I'm on it. All right, Bob. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it.
Not a problem. Take care, guys.
All right. That is Bob Kratz. Fantastic. Obviously, he was back here in Denver, DMAC, a while ago, but just a fantastic interview. I'm excited for tonight's game, Thursday night football. Have you already told me who you're picking?
I'm taking the Broncos, and I think they're favored by 3 points, and I think they take care of business there. The number on the over-under is 42. I think it's a low-scoring game, Rachel. I'll say something like, something wacky like 19-10 Broncos.
Oh, interesting. I'm going 17-14 Broncos. I do think it'll also be low-scoring. Man, you're really hoping for Melvin Gordon to have a solid game, no mistakes, because I can't imagine you and I will both be there, what it'll be like if things go wrong.
Well, I think they're just going to mitigate it because I think they're going to let Russell throw the ball. And I mean, we're making a big drama about the whole thing, but I'll be surprised if Melvin Gordon has more than 16 carries. So I think they'll actually play it relatively conservative with him. I think you'll see a lot of screens, shorter passes, and they'll just try to introduce different playmakers into the mix. They don't have to. The Colts' run defense is pretty good, but their passing defense is terrible. So not terrible. It's mediocre. It's mediocre. So it's a great game just to move Russ around a little bit, let him throw, let him get the ball out, and not rely so much on Melvin Gordon to run the ball. But you may need Melvin Gordon to do a lot more pass blocking, and he's good at that. It's hard to screw that one up as long as you're a bigger, tougher dude, and he is a big, tough dude. So I think that's where it's going to go. If he has more than 16 carries, Rachel, I'll be very surprised.
It'll be interesting. All right, everybody. Thursday night football. Make sure you tune in at 3:30. Cecil and Mace are going to be doing Orange and Blue today. And then you can also check them out at 5:15 as they'll go do the pregame. We've got halftime chill. And DMAC and I will be live from Empower Field for postgame.
What are we wearing tonight? What's the weather? What are we going to be doing tonight, Rachel, on the field?
It's going to be cold. So I'm going to button up a little bit. Maybe we'll pull out the orange plaid jacket. We'll have to see. But yeah, it'll be a good one. Everyone, we hope you have a wonderful day. Can't wait to see you tonight. Broncos, Thursday night football against the Colts. We'll see everybody later. Bye.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.